There are ghost stories, and then there are legends so deeply rooted in local history, they blur the line between myth and reality. One of the most enduring urban legends in the United States is that of Resurrection Mary, a mysterious woman in white seen hitchhiking near Resurrection Cemetery in Chicago. For decades, drivers, bikers, and even law enforcement have reported eerie encounters with this phantom figure. And while skeptics dismiss it as folklore, others swear they've seen her themselves. Based on real reports, based on real fears. So what's the truth behind Resurrection Mary? Let's explore 3 chilling accounts from those who claim they picked up a ride, only to realize too late that their passenger was never meant to arrive. The story of Resurrection Mary has been told for generations, often whispered among locals or shared around campfires. She appears near Resurrection Cemetery in Norridge, Illinois, usually on quiet nights along Route 45 or Archer Avenue. A young woman in a white dress, soaked or damp from the rain, asking for a ride. She gives an address, she sits silently, and when the driver reaches the destination, she vanishes. Dozens of people have reported seeing her over the decades, truckers, bikers, taxi drivers, and every time the details match almost exactly. Story 1, The Silent Ride Home, truck driver encounter from the 1970s. It was just after midnight when he saw her. A long-haul truck driver, used to late-night roads and empty highways, was heading down Archer Avenue, just west of Chicago. Fog rolled in low, clinging to the asphalt like mist over water. He had driven this route dozens of times before. Nothing unusual ever happened here, just trees, the occasional coyote crossing the road, and the looming presence of Resurrection Cemetery on his right. That night, something felt different. The fog seemed thicker than usual. He could barely see past the edge of his headlights. The radio crackled with static, even though he hadn't changed the station. Then movement. Just ahead, near the cemetery gates, a woman stood alone at the side of the road. She wore white, a long dress, no coat, no umbrella, even though it had rained earlier. She raised her hand, asking for a ride. He hesitated. This stretch of road wasn't known for hitchhikers, especially not near Resurrection Cemetery. Still, he pulled over. The door creaked open. She climbed in without a word. He glanced at her. Her hair was damp, not soaked, but slightly wet, as if she'd been caught in the rain hours ago. She sat stiffly, hands folded in her lap, staring straight ahead. He tried to make conversation. "You okay?" No response. He asked again. Still nothing. The cab grew colder. He turned the heat up, but it didn't help. His breath fogged slightly, even though the night wasn't that cold. He cleared his throat. "Where to?" She didn't turn her head, just pointed ahead. "There," she whispered. Her voice was soft, barely above a whisper. He followed her directions, turning onto a narrow street lined with old houses. One of them, she seemed to indicate, was her destination. As he drove, he noticed something strange. The silence. There were no crickets, no wind, no distant traffic, just the hum of the engine and the occasional drip from the undercarriage of the truck. He looked over, still no movement from her. He glanced in the mirror. Her eyes were wide open, unblinking. He tried one more time. "You sure this is your place?" No answer. He pulled up to the house. It looked abandoned, windows broken, porch sagging. He turned to speak. Empty seat. Door still locked from the inside. He sat there for a moment, heart pounding. Then he got out, walked around the truck. No sign of her. Just the wind rustling through the trees and the faint smell of roses. Story 2. The Phantom Hitchhiker Motorcyclist Encounter from 1994. He was riding north on Route 45, northwest of Chicago, just past midnight. The road was empty, the sky clear, a perfect night for a ride. But as he approached the stretch near Resurrection Cemetery, the temperature dropped suddenly. He remembers the exact moment, headlights cutting through the darkness, and then movement. A woman in white standing in the middle of the road. He slammed on the brakes. She didn't move. When he came to a stop, she was gone. He thought he must have imagined it. Maybe fatigue was getting to him, so he kept going. A few miles down the road, he saw her again, this time standing under a flickering streetlight. Again, he stopped. Again, she vanished. This time he felt something else. Not fear, not exactly. It was more like recognition, like he knew her, or should have known her. He described her later. Long brown hair, pale skin, dressed in what looked like an old-fashioned wedding gown, no shoes. He turned around and headed back toward the cemetery. And that's when it happened. She appeared again, not in front of him this time, but behind, sitting on the back of his bike. He felt the weight shift, felt cold fingers brush his shoulder. He looked back. Nothing. His hands shook as he pulled over. He sat there staring into the blackness until dawn began to break. To this day, he refuses to ride that route at night. Story 3, The Vanishing Fair, taxi driver encounter in the 2000s. It was a quiet October evening in Chicago. Drizzle clinging to the windshield, headlights cutting through the mist as a taxi driver made his way back toward the city. He'd just dropped off a fare near downtown and was scanning for another when the call came in. Pick up at Archer Avenue and Harlem Avenue. It wasn't the busiest part of town, especially that late. But he took the job anyway. When he pulled up, there was no one in sight, just the rain tapping against the pavement and the cemetery gates looming in the distance. He waited. Then movement. A woman in a white dress stepped out from the shadows, waving him down. Her hair clung to her face, damp from the rain. She opened the back door and slid inside without a word. Through the rear-view mirror, he saw her clearly now, pale, expressionless, staring straight ahead. "Where to?" he asked. She gave an address, just a few blocks away. He nodded, slightly unsettled, and pulled away. She didn't speak again. He tried to make small talk. "Rough night out here?" Silence. He glanced at the mirror again. She hadn't moved, not once. He started to feel uneasy. The cab felt colder than it should have been. His breath fogged slightly, even though the heat was on. As he approached the destination, he checked the mirror again. Empty seat. The door was still locked from the inside. Heart pounding, he pulled over and got out. He walked around the car, looked inside again. Nothing. Just the smell of wet earth. And something else. Roses. He called dispatch, voice shaking. "There's something wrong with this place." He never picked up fares near Resurrection Cemetery again. These are 3 of the many encounters reported over decades, separated by time, yet connected by eerie similarity. A woman in white. A ride offered. And then, disappearance. Whether she's the spirit of a lost girl, a phantom tied to tragedy, or something we simply don't understand, one thing is clear. People are still seeing her. And if you ever find yourself driving past Resurrection Cemetery late at night, be careful who you pick up, because sometimes the ride doesn't end where you expect.